may Allah accept our martyrs and cure our injured, console the petrified, and save our children. I am the Sudan Revolution. So I'm going to talk to you today about two things. I'm going to present my vision for the ICT sector in Sudan. And basically, I'll tell you the conclusion now and then go through a scientific or research methodology of how I reached that conclusion. So knowledge is power, but in the ICT sector, value is power. So that's number one. Number two, we need a vision to follow. And in this platform, I will call all the ICT professionals to get in touch, collaborate, and work together to form a vision which we all agree on and work together to implement. And that vision is based on values. And in the ICT sector, the value is socioeconomic development. As Prof. Hussein said, education, the three steps of it, the third step is nurturing, and nurturing is a value. So the value, you can't reach you can't have an embodied vision where everyone follows if that vision doesn't contribute and doesn't reflect your values. So this is my conclusion sort of from this talk, and I'm going to show you how I reached it. So I've been in research for 10 years in the wireless communication area, and I'm now back in the industry. So as part of my research, I asked myself the question, how can we improve the ICT status in Sudan? And to know where we are, we need to know where we're heading, we need to know where we are. So I looked at the world countries, and I collected this set of data, economic, demographics, so GDP, GNI, demographic age group, percentage of urban population, the means of our schooling, development indexes like HDI, and efficiency measures, and global competitiveness index, etc. So I collected this for the whole world countries, 188 countries, and did some data analysis using machine learning methods. And the idea is to come up with a cluster of similar countries to Sudan in socioeconomic development measures. I can't compare Sudan ICT status to the UK because we're totally different. So I have to compare it to a set of countries that share similar economic and social developmental attributes. I came up with a cluster of 18 countries where Sudan sits. Then I went ahead and collected additional 12 commercial, financial, technological indicators for ICT. This is for the tech guys, this is the process. Data mining, exploratory data analysis, feature transformation. You need to be accurate, you need to do cluster validation, stuff like that. And this is the result. So the table shows 5 measures. Smartphone adoption is number 1, so on that measure, we do quite well. Compared to the average in our cluster, we are around 30% smartphone adoption. There's a measure called the data revenue, how much percentage of revenue is coming from data, so we're doing good. So color coding, as you already guessed, green is good, bad is red, and orange is not bad. So we're doing well in those two, but we need to ask ourselves the question, are these contributing to socioeconomic development of the country? We're doing very bad in the SIM index, which essentially means each person will have 1.58 SIM cards, so they're using 2 different companies. That effectively means the companies offering are not sufficient. There is no customer experience, there is no quality assurance, there is no service level agreements for those offerings. So if you buy an internet package, there is no predefined quality of service for you. And this is an issue. The average revenue per user is all right, but it's declining, and due to economic reasons, inflation, etc. There is something called HHI, which is an index of measuring market competitiveness. The lower the better, so we sit in a highly concentrated market, which means there is no competition. Everyone is holding their quarters and staying, so that they're doing fixed, then doing mobile. Everyone is happy, but the benefits to the people is not there. So the regulator role is there to encourage competition. A big issue for the telecom sector in Sudan is this: the average revenue per user, which is declining, and this is mainly because the regulator, unfortunately, policy is to collect tax from the companies, and that's it. It's a tax collection agency, to be frank, and there is no socio-economic driven policies from the ICT, and that's what I'm going to talk about next. This is pretty much the previous slide. It just shows there is opportunities in Sudan for innovation, because around 40-something% of the sites are off the grid, so we have opportunities to develop solar power technologies and lead the world in that area if we unite around the vision. The investment in ICT is quite low, 7%. That's in 2011. But the contribution that measured in 2011 to the economic growth was 1.6%. Mobile, people talk about mobile, and some people say that Sudan is doing very well in mobile. We're leading Africa, East Africa, the Horn of East Africa. But the statistics are a bit different. So if you look, you can see that we're doing very well in mobile stereo subscription, the red curve. But unfortunately, the green and the blue are the fixed broadband, which is fixed broadband through cable, and fixed landline are dead effectively since 2008. So this begs the question, is a mobile-only strategy enough for a country? We're effectively running a whole country on mobile networks. And the answer is, it depends. So if you have subscriber mobility, where your solutions are inclusive, you have coverage KPIs, you have accessibility KPIs, you make sure that everyone can access the service no matter where, then maybe. The only technological solution to this is what people say 5G is going to be the new thing, and is going to solve all the problems, but even that is debatable. So a mobile-only strategy is a delusion, and we're deluded to the fact that we're doing well in ICT because we're doing well in mobile, but the matter of the fact is we are focused on one aspect, and ICT is it's not a one-size-fits-all. You have to have different modes of connectivity and solutions. And this is basically solidifies what I said. So if you look at the mobile connection penetration and the actual unique subscriber penetration in the mobile internet in Sudan, we are just below the average in our cluster. Well, 60%, 60-something%, the average is around 85%. And if you look at the unique, how much unique subscribers are there, we are, again, below the average. And this is because of that SIM index I showed you earlier. So effectively, the number of subscribers are shown higher than they actually are, because it's the same person having two different SIMs. ICT centers and powers in Sudan. Prof. Sadiq mentioned the African International Center. So I listed all the ICT centers in Sudan, and in terms of their power and their contribution to the ICT status is pretty much non-existent. The reason is, we all know, I guess. So if you look at the first 8, NTC, the National Telecommunication Corporation, the regulator, Sudatel, Zen Sudan, Nile Research Center, African International Center, Information Security Center, they're effectively led by government employees who have no clue why ICT should be there. ICT is there to be an enabler for socioeconomic development. It's not there as selling airwaves to companies so that the regulator can collect taxes. So they totally misunderstand that. MTN and Kana, I can't claim that they're led by members of the NCC, but there's various attempts to subdue the the fiber infrastructure in Sudan. Is Kana trying to do that, but whatever is happening is not to support coverage or accessibility to the people. It's there just to collect tax effectively. So my vision, before I say it, I just summarize the good and the bad. So if you look at the good, the ICT sector in Sudan is doing good, 5 minutes, in financial KPIs. Anything finance, we're doing good on, well, makes sense. But we're not doing great on any population coverage stats or mobile KPIs. And we have no quality assurance or service level agreement whatsoever. The whole ICT industry is built on service level agreement. You sell something, you need to deliver that service at that quality. So the vision in a page. So the purpose is to foster a culture of technological innovation for a better Sudan. We need to agree on that. The vision is to build a society that embraces knowledge and effectively develop ICT-enabled socio-economic and human development. So ICT should develop the economy and social mobility in the society. The goal to be among the top 10, value-based. So again, the value is there. Knowledge is good, but if you have it, you're not producing products out of it. What are you doing? So, and these are the strategies. I'm not going into the details because of time of how to achieve that vision and goal. So my call here is for the ICT professionals, let's talk about this. We have no time to waste. Summary. Last night I looked at the NetBlocks website to see the impact of the current internet shutdown on our socioeconomic situation in Sudan, and it's affecting us by $870 billion. This is what being taken out of everyone's pocket. Million, sorry. So, and this just shows what I've this solidifies what I just said before. So ICT is a socio-economic development tool. It's not just talking on the phone and going on the internet and chatting and stuff like that. There is a lot of evidence and research. It's slightly different between developed and developed countries, and I will share some papers, a paper I published on this, that supports this notion. So we really need to have an ICT ecosystem that derives socioeconomic development. And one way of doing that is to have a vision and agree on it and work in implementing it. And we need leadership. So I'm a technically capable person. I might say that I have leadership skills, but it's not good talking about things and not really having the technical leadership to go and deliver them. So we need that technical leadership to unite around the vision and work hard to implement it. That's what we really need. We have qualified people all over the world, but we need somebody to unite everyone. And I would like just to conclude by saying the value-based vision I just presented is something that many people can find it very hard to achieve, but being in the field for some time now, I think we can do this. We can really, we have the technical capabilities. We just need to really sit together and work as a team. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, before I remember just to share the references. So that all the figures I showed here on this paper I published in one of Prof. Alam Journals, International Journal of Innovation and Knowledge Management. It's basically an ICT benchmark in Sudan. The data is collected between the years 2005 and 2015 for 10 years. The rest is other papers, and I would like to thank these collaborators from Zain Sudan, Usama Muhammad Khair, Usama Ibrahim, and Marwan Awad. We worked together to write this paper. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much. The stake now is for question. If you have any question, yes, you can. Yes.
Just a question to Hassan Hamdoun. Thank you very much for all the speakers, first of all.
Yeah.
You did say that the cost of the internet shutdown is $869 billion. Is that a daily figure, or is it a cumulative one?
So NetBlocks is an organization that works on internet freedom. So they have a tool called cost of internet shutdowns. They developed that tool in collaboration with the ITU and other organizations. And the tool effectively looks at human development indexes and GDP and GNI and other economic and development figures to estimate how much it costs from shutting the essential communication means in a country. So if you go to the website, you can put the days. So that figure is for the whole duration. That's from the 3rd of June up to last night, up to actually today. I included today in the calculations. And it just shows, obviously these are estimated values, but are based on a very robust methodology, scientific methodology, and it's very striking to see that, I would say.
Thank you.
Yep, go ahead.
Can I just make a comment, معلش يعني just to challenge again. يعني أنا بفتكر leadership في السودان has been challenged بالتمكين. We have to يعني be كمان acknowledge the reality. يعني ما كانت based on abilities ولا كفاءات ولا كده. It's been التمكين for 30 years. Recently لما الناس تتكلم حاسة about يعني إن الناس ما able to agree a government, it's not about being able, لكن أنت to be able to put your cards on a table, on a negotiating table, لازم الناس كلها تكون they believe in the negotiation process. يعني ما ممكن الناس تاخد vision أو يخطوا أسامي leaders حقتهم when they're not going to get shot after they leave the meeting. ففي issues about the safety, security, about how do we create an environment which is actually conducive to good leadership.
Exactly.
لكن ما about نحن we don't have enough leaders. And I believe السودانيين عندهم leadership abilities with team building abilities. And يعني this has been shown في different domains.
Yeah, you're right. So the tamkeen and the nature of oppression is anti-leadership. Yeah, you can't do, you can't, that's not a conducive environment. But what I'm talking about is at a local level. So you can lead a small team to do something. You don't need to really face risks in doing that. You can do that in your own company, charity, or community organization, or whatever. But on that one, I agree.
Next question, if you have a question.
I think I just want to challenge you back. As an engineer who most likely you do have the contact within the recently developed professional bodies, whatever is going back in Sudan. So I think your proposal is amazing, but I'm sure have you actually tried to propose this within your own societies? أنا عارفة في ناس جامعة الخرطوم المهندسين. I hope so.
I did, yeah. I don't need to show you. I've contacted people and shared this with and get feedback on that and edited it and refined it. I don't need to show that to show that there is people who have a common goal to achieve. So I think that your question is alluding to the fact that our previous examples of leaders who are those who just go on with things. They don't share what they're trying to achieve, right? Am I right in that?
No. I think the question is, like, I was just looking for the reassurance that you're actually getting the support you're looking for.
Of course, yes.
And
so
this is the important bit.
Yeah, so I have to admit that I have to go back and read quite a bit about leadership and how to do things in that space, because I'm an engineer, yeah? So, but doesn't stop me learning, and doesn't stop me trying to embody those leadership behaviors into what I'm doing. So the answer is yes.
بنحلم بفضاء أوسع، بنحلم بزمن أجمل، بلاد ميلاد، بلاد ميلاد.